All right, Ethan, hope you're doing well. Wanted to get this video out to you just to compare your mechanics here to Jacob deGrom, who's on the Texas Rangers. Kind of compare your mechanics side by side, go over what we talked about in the last lesson whenever we worked on pitching. So, wanted to kind of break these down. So, what I'm going to do is play them at the same time. And then we're going to briefly kind of talk about what the big differences are, what we're going to keep working on as pitching progresses, and also where we're going to be headed. So let's get to it. Okay. So very first thing that I want to point out, Ethan, and I know that we talked about this during the lesson, watch where Jacob deGrom goes with all of his energy and watch where you go with all of your energy that we build up, right? So, as you notice, deGrom takes everything straight to the plate, right? Versus what we see is kind of like what we talked about with hitting in prior lessons, that we step in what we call stepping into the bucket, right? So, if you think about it, right, all this energy that you've built up in your mechanics is going towards, if I were to put it somewhere, towards where your mom and miles are, right? So the issue with that, right, is we're trying to deliver a really, really good pitch to home plate. And as you can kind of see, you're going this way, and then your body's having to battle and go straight back to home plate, right? So that's the big thing that I want to keep working on. And how we worked on it during the lesson was that we're trying to take everything straight back to the plate. And how we do that is overcorrecting. So trying to actually instead step towards this way so that we're able to step towards home plate, right? That's one of the big things that we talked about in the lesson. The other ones that we talked about, you did a really good job kind of after we talked about a little bit, is keeping everything on the chain. As you see, when deGrom's leg goes up, his hands go up, versus similarly what we do. Even though you start with your hands high, we can see that you do break it at the right time, right? That's a really, really good thing. Another thing I want to point out that we've also talked about during that lesson was this glove, right? What we notice is this glove is thrown to the side here, right? And that's going to cause one of two things to happen. Either we are going to finish high arm side, or we're going to spike it low glove side, right? So what we need to do is, if we see what deGrom does, where he gets here and then he takes everything for him, even though his glove is towards the side, what this video doesn't show is that he's taking that elbow into his rib cage, what we talked about prior, right? And as you can see, as he brings it up, that's where it goes into that armpit area, right? The other thing that we talked about in the lesson as well is getting over this front leg, right? You actually do a really, really great job with your front knee, that it doesn't lock in place. It can extend, which that is a really, really great start, Ethan. That's a great start. Now what we need to do is get this leg to come over top, right? As you're going to see how deGrom's comes over top right here, right? That's what we want to do with that, right? And that's just going to take time. There's a drill that we can work on that the next time we work on pitching that we'll do a little bit to get the natural feeling of going over with our back leg. And then the last one here, you do a really great job of keeping this elbow above our shoulder, which what we've talked about, which causes us to not have to push the ball. Now, we do see our elbow goes through instead of being like a whip, how we see like deGrom's is right here. We do a push a little bit towards the end, right? But we keep everything above the shoulder. And that's really, really good layback right there, Ethan. That is really good layback. If we compare that to deGrom, or actually I'm going to draw a line right here to show your layback. And then I'm going to show deGrom's layback. That's pretty good for your age, Ethan. That's really good for your age. So those are a couple things I kind of wanted to break down between y'all's mechanics. Obviously, Ethan will keep working on this as we progress with pitching, but at least kind of wanted to get this video out to you just so you can kind of see what the differences are, where we're trying to go with pitching, and how we're going to improve. So looking forward to keep working with you.